Amruta Dhadge from Khernagar Municipal Secondary English Medium School. I am here to teach you Science 1. Today we are going to learn Science 1 and today's our interesting topic uh, is reflection of light. Okay, so I know you people are exhausted by learning these back-to-back lectures. So first starting So let's first recall a small activity which we all go through in our day-to-day life. Okay, and we enjoy doing that. The activity is we just stand in front of the mirrors and we see ourselves. Okay, so everybody is fond of doing this thing and we all enjoy this activity. But have you noticed or observed that when you stand in front of a mirror, you get a image, okay, exact image of your own when you are standing in front of a mirror. Everything is visually perfect. Everything is shown very clearly inside the mirror. So today our topic is reflection of light. So by recalling this activity, we are recalling two things: the light, which is very important when we see our reflection, because when we stand in front of the mirror in a dark room where there is no light, we observe that we are not able to find the image properly and perfect. Okay, so light is important while studying reflection. So first we are going to see the nature of the light. Okay, so the nature of the light is a form of energy which enables us to see. Okay, so without this energy we can't see. So light is crucial, important thing to study reflection. So a form of energy which enables us to see. Now, how this light travels? It travels in a straight line. Okay, when it is generated or when we get light from its source, it is always in a straight line. Okay, so the reflection happens afterwards. So first it travels in a straight line. It travels at a very high speed, okay, which is 3.0 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. In vacuum, it is emitted by luminous sources such as sun, star, candles, lamps, etc. Okay, so these are the sources of light through which we get light. Okay, so what is the nature of light? White light is a mixture of 7 different colors, namely red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Okay, so when you observe light from a prism, you can see all these colors from a single light. Okay, so it reflects all these colors. Light is a transverse wave and forms part of the electromagnetic spectrum. This you will study later, but just remember these lines. Okay, now sources of light. All objects that we see are sources of light, even if they do not produce light themselves. Okay, so those objects which produce light themselves are called as luminous. You can see sun, burning candle, light, bulb, and flash of lightning. These all have their own, these all emit light. Okay, artificial sources of light are those that are produced and controlled by humans. That is car headlight, neon signs, flashlight, televisions. Okay, so you can see the neon sign board which is there. It emits light and it is controlled by humans. Some sources of light, such as burning wood, may be classified as both natural and artificial. So what do we understand from these things? We got answer to our two questions. The first one is what is light? The light or visible light, which commonly refers to electromagnetic radiation that can be detected by the human eye. Okay, we can see, we can visualize, we can see things only in the presence of light. So an eye first detects light. What is meant by reflection of light? Now reflection is light bounces off an object. Light falls on an object and when it bounces back, we get its reflection. Okay, now this was all about light. Now when we are going towards the reflection, we are towards to learn the phenomenon of reflection. So what reflects? Mirror reflects. Okay, we are standing in front of the mirror. At the starting of the lesson only, we have taken this activity that we are standing in front of the mirror. So first light is important, and then the second thing, mirror is important. Okay, now we are going to see how actually this mirror is made up of. Okay, the normal glass which we use for drinking water inside our home, that is a transparent glass, but a mirror which we use to see ourselves is an opaque object. Okay, so from what substances is this mirror formed? So this mirror, simple mirror, is actually a plain glass which is silver plated. Okay, it is silver plated. So can we make a mirror? Yes, we can make mirror. Plain glass provides the smooth surface. Silver coating makes it shine. The plain glass we are using, first the plain glass, and then we are coating that plain glass with silver substance. Okay, now a mirror is made by coating of a flat the back surface of a flat and smooth glass piece with a thin reflecting film of aluminium and silver. Okay, so you have to remember these things. I have highlighted these things. They are underlined also. So how is mirror made? It is just a plain glass, but the back of the plain glass is coated with a smooth, with a thin reflecting film of aluminium and silver. Now to protect this reflecting film and to make the side opaque, okay, so the normal glass which we use for drinking water, that one is transparent glass. Now we have to make mirrors, and mirrors are opaque. I hope you people understand the meaning of transparent and opaque. Transparent is we can see we can from one side of the glass we can see its other side. But while standing in front of the mirror, we are able to see our own image itself. Okay, we are not able to see what is behind the mirror. So to make the back side of the mirror opaque, the second reflecting film is coated, and that substance is lead oxide. Okay, these underlined words can be asked for filling the blanks, okay, for true or false, or in any correlation. So mirrors, we need polished surfaces for reflecting light. This is because polished surfaces absorb less light, and so maximum light gets reflected. So mirror itself will absorb less light, whereas it will reflect maximum amount of light. Okay, so the object or the image is visible to us. Second thing, in scientific language, a surface which reflects light and creates clear images is called a mirror. Okay, what mirror does? It has a coating which makes it opaque. It has lead oxide coating which makes it opaque, and it absorbs less amount of light, whereas it reflects maximum light. Okay, and when this such type of surface is created which creates a clear images, then we will call it as a plane mirror. The mirror which we use inside our home is a example of plane mirror. Okay, now we are going to see types of mirror. So you can see there are two types of mirrors. First one is plane mirror, second one is the spherical mirror. You can see the plane under the plane mirror, in spite of writing many words sentences, two diagrams are given so that you people will understand what is the difference between plane mirrors and spherical mirrors. Okay, so first, plane mirror. Under that plane mirror, the diagram depicts that you are standing in front of the mirror and you see someone same like you, identical to you, is standing in the mirror also. Okay, so your image and you are identical. This image is created in the plane mirror. These are the mirrors which we use at our home. Okay, now second is spherical mirrors. Spherical mirrors are of two types: concave mirrors and convex mirrors. Now just see the shaded portion of the curve. Okay, you can see the shaded portion and you can see the names. So two things are given inside the diagram. First one is the reflective surface and hard surface. Now in the first diagram, uh, concave mirror is written. In that concave mirror, you can see the shaded blue portion, light blue portion is inside, okay, inside the curve, and they have named it as reflective surface, okay, and the outer surface is hard surface. Whereas in the convex mirror, you can see the difference between the two things. The reflective surface is in its outer part, okay, it is not inside the curve, but it is outside the curve. The reflective surface is outside the curve, whereas the inner part is denoted as hard surface. Okay, take a time, again see this diagram very carefully, because from henceforth or hence onwards we are going to see concave mirror and convex mirrors, and this is a new thing to you this year, so better you understand the difference between these two mirrors here itself. Again I'll repeat, for concave mirror the reflective surface is inside the curve, and for convex mirror the reflective surface is outside the curve. You can see the shaded region and you can specify it. Okay, again here there is something about plane mirrors. Plane mirrors are used in various activities in our day-to-day life. A mirror is made by coating the back surface of a flat and smooth glass piece with thin reflecting film of aluminium or silver. To protect this film and to make side opaque, another coat of substance like lead oxide is given over it. Okay, so this will be the description for the first part, which is plane mirror. Now we are going to study how the image is formed in the mirror. Now when we stand in front of the mirror, we see a clear image form. Okay, identical image of this mirror we can see. So how these phenomenon occurs, or what occurs, what happens, so that we are able to see an image which is identical to us. Now, first of all, I will like to tell you that first of all, in all these diagrams, try to see the diagrams properly. Okay. So the first one is the incident ray and the reflected ray. Both are on the same line. Okay. You can see the arrow of the incident ray and the reflected ray. The ray which is traveling towards the mirror is called incident ray, and the ray which gets reflected, which is from the mirror in the environment, is called as reflected ray. Those are specified by the arrows. So while writing it in your question, in your answer sheets, these arrows are important. Okay, and writing incident ray, reflected ray, these names are also important. Okay, so first one is a very simple image formation. Okay, now this image formation is just for a point source. You people have studied a point in geometry. Only that single point's image we are going to find out in our mirror. Okay, so we see a clear image of ourselves when we stand in front of the mirror in the house. To understand how the image is formed in the mirror, let us first consider an image formed by a point source. Okay, we are standing whole in front of the mirror and we are seeing an image identical to us, but while studying we will start to see from a point source. Now what happens for a point source, how we get reflected light, and how we can see the image of a point source. So first is, light travels in all directions from such a source, from in all directions from such a source. Okay, so whenever a light is present, matlab, a tube light is present in your room, you can see that light travels in all directions. The whole room is lightened. Okay, so several of these rays falls on the mirror. What happens? Several of these rays, they fall on the mirror, get reflected and reach our eyes. Due to reflection, they appear to come from the point behind the mirror. Yes, sometimes we feel that another person is standing behind the mirror. Okay, but due to reflection, this happens, but it appears for our eyes that the reflection is from behind the mirror. That point is the image of the point source. Okay, so in this diagram we are just going to see that incident ray and reflected ray, they lie on the same line, they are perpendicular to the mirror itself. I hope you people understand the meaning of perpendicular. The incident ray and reflected ray both make a 90-degree angle with the mirror, so it is called as they both are perpendicular to the mirror. So you can see the diagram once again. A point source is present, a single point is there through which an incident ray passes. The reflected ray is on the same line. Okay, both are making 90-degree angle to the mirror. So we can say that incident ray, reflected ray are perpendicular to the mirror. Okay, so the diagram description also shows that this diagram shows light rays falling perpendicular on the mirror are reflected back in the perpendicular direction. Image of a point source formed by a mirror. Okay, after this we are going to see how the image is formed. Okay, now the diagrams which I have taken or shown in my PPT, they are same. The concept of the diagrams is same, just the lettering or the name specifications are little bit different. Okay, but incident ray is denoted by I1, I2. Reflected ray is denoted by R1, R2. The things will remain same, just the name of the mirror, when you will start comparing it with the textbook, they are a little bit different. Okay, so first we will try to see what is given in the diagram, and we will develop our own thinking power, our own observation of seeing a diagram, so that we can write our description very properly. Okay, when we inhibit this habit of seeing a diagram very properly and understanding the concept, I think there is no need to learn pit pat any of the answer for any of the context of science. Okay, because science itself is on many observations. When these observations are taken collectively, we get a scientific approach and we develop a concept. So there is no need of learning, but there is a need of observation and understanding. Okay, so while doing this chapter, just go through the diagrams, just see and try to understand what happens to the incident ray and the reflected ray. Okay, how they are reflected, what phenomenon takes place while the incident ray is being incident on the mirror and it is getting reflected back, how the objects are formed and how the images are formed, how the objects is there in front of the mirror, the specification of the object, whether it is a point, whether it is a whole object. Okay, and how the image of that object is formed. So the diagram depicts a point source O, okay, which is a object source in front of the plane mirror, and the mirror is named as MM dash. So first again, while writing this point, we are going to write about incident rays. Okay, incident rays get reflected according to the law of reflection. when these reflected rays are extended behind. Now, the law of reflection is done in 8th standard. Still, I'll revise one needful law which is required over here, that you must have heard, that the incident ray, the reflected ray, and the normal lie on the same plane. Okay, so you can see in the diagram, the incident ray, the reflected ray, and the normal, which is the mirror, they are lying on the same plane. Okay, so when these reflected rays are extended behind, okay, so you can see the incident ray is OA and OB from the object O. The incident ray, first one is OA and the second one is OB. Okay, the A and B are the points where the incident rays are, okay, incident rays are intersecting, okay, the mirror, these 2 points. After that, you can see when these, they are getting reflected. Okay, so the ray in OA incident is being reflected to AX, OB is reflected by BY. When these two rays are extended, these dotted lines you can see, these are extended lines. When these lines are extended, they meet at a point, okay, and the point is named as I, where we get the image of the object. The mirror, they meet at the point I. When we see from the eye, this is the eye, which is denoted by letter E, the rays appear to be coming from O. Okay, the rays appear to be coming from O, and thus point I is the image of the object. You can see this point I, which is the image of the object. The reflected rays do not actually meet. Okay, these reflected rays, they are not actually intersecting each other. They do not meet. When they meet, when they are extended behind the mirror, they meet. So hence such an image is called as virtual image. This is the important concept, virtual image. The reflected rays do not actually meet, hence such an image is called as virtual image. The perpendicular distance of the image from the mirror is equal to the perpendicular distance of the source from the mirror. Okay, the perpendicular distance of the image from the mirror, you can see the perpendicular distance I from the mirror. This is equal to the distance of the source, that is O, to the mirror. Now next we are going to see images of an extended source formed by a mirror. Images of a extended source. Now you can see a pen in front of the mirror. Whole pen is given. The object is given. You can see its virtual image on another side. Now this is also image formation of a plane mirror. If we use extended source instead of point source, we were using point source in those previous two diagrams. Now we are using extended source. A whole pen is there in front of the mirror, thereby forming an extended image of a whole source. You can see the extended image of the whole source. The object is the whole source, and you can see the virtual image. It is also the whole source. The image formed by plane mirror is of the same size as of the source. Okay, size of the pen remains same. Its height, its width will remain same. It will not change. Now you can see these distances which are given, they are common, they are equal. Okay, from the object to the mirror, from the mirror to the virtual images. They have taken 4 points and they have measured the distance. You can see the same signs are given on both the sides. This depicts that they have equal length. Okay, each point will have equal length. To construct the image of an object, there is no need to construct an image of a single point of it. Construct an image of extreme points, example top and the bottom, and then connect these edge points. They have connected these edge points and they have verified whether the distance of the object to the mirror and from the mirror to the object, both the distances are same. So after having this three theories of image formation, which are little bit trickier, but if you think logically, apply your observations, go through the diagrams very properly, you can get into the concept. But now henceforth, uh, in today's lecture, we will have some easy concepts which we can do it practically in our homes right now also. So for understanding this lateral inversion, if you write E on a plain paper, okay, uh, make it bold or make it thin letters. Okay, if you write like this E on a plain paper, and if you stand in front of the mirror, you can see this type of image. Okay, and it is scientifically named as lateral inversion. You can see a line of reflection. This line of reflection is nothing but the mirror. So when you stand in front of the mirror and you have a notebook or you have a page on which this letter E is written, when you see its image, you can see such kind of E. Okay, so this is called as lateral inversion. You can see another letters also. C will be seen like this in the mirror. N will be seen like this. There are some changes in the mirror, and this phenomenon is called as lateral inversion. The image of a word appear laterally inverted in the mirror. Okay, they are laterally inverted, matlab vertically they are inverted. The image of every point on the word is formed behind the mirror at the same distance from the mirror as the point itself. This is called lateral inversion. This is called lateral inversion. You can observe all the alphabets like this. Okay, all the 26 alphabets, you can see how many alphabets undergo this phenomenon of lateral inversion. Okay, so this is a very crucial example of lateral inversion. As you people have seen many of times, the word ambulance appears like this. Okay, it is never written in a straight manner. Okay, it is written from left to right. Okay, the last word is written first, and likewise the order of the word is maintained. So many of you have seen such kind of things. So why they write like this? They use the phenomenon of lateral inversion so that when a vehicle driver or a car driver sees this word in his mirror, he'll be able to see the word properly. Okay, the driver will see the word in a straight format. Okay, so he can read the word, and he will come to know that an ambulance is there behind him, so that he'll give the way or the path for the ambulance to go forward. Okay, so this lateral inversion is used in writing the word ambulance. Now our next topic is some of the funny mirrors or images which we called as laughing mirrors. So some different mirrors to study and imagine. Oh, sorry. And imagine how images are formed in them. So you can see that these mirrors are not plain mirrors, they are curved. Okay, they are curved mirrors. So the images formed in the curved mirrors are not exact images of the object standing in front of them. They are tilted, they are distorted, some different kind of images are there. So we are going to study how these images are formed. So these images are formed by spherical mirrors. This was are another type of mirror, that is spherical mirror. We have seen laughing mirrors. Face appears distorted in laughing mirrors. Okay, distorted means it does not appear as it is, as the object is. Okay, something will be large, something will get squeezed. Okay, why does this happen? These mirrors are different from the mirrors we have at home. Yes, because we don't have curved mirrors at our home. We have plain mirrors. They are curved mirrors. The images formed by the curved mirrors are different from those formed by plain mirrors. Because of this, we do not see the familiar images in these mirrors. The rear view mirror in cars, which enables the drivers to see the vehicles coming from behind, are curved mirrors. The spherical mirror is a mirror which has the shape of a piece cut out of a spherical surface. Okay, these there are two types of spherical mirrors which we have seen: concave mirror and convex mirror. So the concave mirror, just remember these words, because in our successive lectures we are going to see what is the meaning of convergence and divergence. But for time being, remember, concave mirrors are the mirrors which are called as the converting mirrors, and the convex mirrors are also called as the diverging mirrors. This we will go through. We will have a session on this convergence and divergence of mirror. But for time being, you have to remember that concave mirrors are converting mirrors and convex mirrors are diverging mirrors. Okay, again we are uh, to the topic spherical mirrors in deep now, with concave mirror and convex mirror. We just had a superficial view while seeing the types of mirror, but now while studying the types of spherical mirrors, we are going to go in deep how the images in concave mirror and convex mirrors are formed. Okay, so concave mirrors, the inner surface of the spherical mirror is the reflecting surface, then it is called concave mirror. Can you see the solar furnace? This is a very good example of concave mirror. This solar furnace uses concave mirror. Okay, and concave mirror is also called as converting. Okay, so this is a good example of solar furnace is a good example of concave mirror. You can see convex mirror, the outer surface of the mirror is the reflecting surface, then it is called as convex mirror. You can see a side mirror of vehicle is an example of convex mirror. Rather than remembering just these points, okay, just remember the important words as well as examples for concave mirror and convex mirror, which will help you to differentiate between concave and convex mirrors properly. Without any confusion, you can write answers for these questions. Now, this is a very good example. So as we are discussing, the concave means the curve, which is we are taking the inside part of the curve. Okay, so you can see the spoon, the concave part of the spoon, which is slightly curved and it goes inside, and the convex part is the upper part of the spoon. Now, examples of concave mirror: first one is the telescope, and you can see a mirror which is concave mirror and a woman standing in front of it. Now, this is just a differentiation between uses of convex mirror, convex lens and concave lens. Now, convex is used in magnifying glass and microscope, whereas concave lens is used in spy hole in doors and in flashlights. Okay. Just see this slide for 2 seconds so that you will remember where the convex lens and the concave lens is used. Okay. I hope you people must have understood the differentiation between concave mirror and convex mirror. Now it's time to recapitulate or recall whatever we have learned today. So these are few questions which I have framed so that you people will recall all which we have seen today. How will you find out if a mirror is concave or convex? So if mirror is given to you and if you have to find whether it is concave or convex, so how you will find? First, when a mirror is held close to the face, it gives vertical and larger image of the face. Okay. If the same mirror is taken far away from the face, the image gets smaller and smaller. Such mirrors are concave mirrors. So these are two things which distinguishes between concave mirror and convex mirror. So whereas what will happen in the convex mirror? In convex mirror, the image of the face is erect and smaller, and it remains erect but becomes smaller and smaller when the mirror is taken away from the face. Thus, we can determine the nature of the mirror by studying the images produced by them. Okay, now just to differentiate between these two words, which are two very main and important words. First one is the vertical for concave mirror and erect for convex mirror. They sound same. We think that both are one and the same, but they are slightly different. Vertical means the image which is straight. Now erect also means the image is straight, but it appears to be tall and smaller. Okay, so you are going to get a large view of your object when it is placed in front of a concave mirror, whereas you are going to get a smaller view of the object when you are going to place it in front of the convex mirror. I hope this helps you to distinguish between concave and convex mirror. We will go towards our second question. Why are concave mirrors used in solar devices? I have given an example of concave mirror as solar furnaces. Solar furnaces, you were able to see a curved image, okay, and the reflective surface was inside the curve. Concave mirrors are used in solar devices to collect heat radiations. What they do, they collect all the heat radiations which are spread in the atmosphere. So they use concave mirrors. Okay, heat radiations coming from the sun and from infinity, they are brought to focus by concave mirror in its focal length. Now, what is focal length? This we are going to see in our successive lectures. But for time being, just remember it and I'll recall the answer this point at that time. But heat radiations coming from the sun, they are coming from infinity because sun is situated far away from the earth. Okay, so to catch all those radiations from infinity and they bring to the focus by a concave mirror which are in its focal length. Now the next question is, if we hold a page of a book in front of a mirror, we see laterally inverted letters in the mirror. Why does this happen? Okay, so why does this happen? We have studied it. The phenomenon of lateral inversion takes place and the letters are laterally vertically inverted. So the answer for this question is, it happens because image is virtual and lateral inversion takes place. Which letters if in English alphabet form images that look same as the original? Same as the original means they do not follow lateral inversion. They do not undergo the phenomenon of lateral inversion. And these you people are going to see today that yes, whether it is true that these letters which I have mentioned in your answer, they do follow the lateral inversion or they do not follow. Okay, so capital letters I have written AHINOTUWXY. These alphabets from the 26 alphabets do not undergo lateral inversion. You can check this today. Just take a piece of paper, write these capital letters, stand in front of the mirror and see whether do they undergo lateral inversion or not. The next question is, why does obtaining the image of sun on a paper with the help of concave mirror burn? Okay, with the help of binoculars, you people have done this under the subject science. Okay, you have studied when there is a morning sunrise. Okay, and after 11 to 11:30, at this time when you keep your binoculars in the sunlight and try to focus, try to put a beam of light on the paper, wherever the beam falls on the paper burns. Okay, so you can do it this with the help of concave mirrors. So what happens? Concave mirrors, being a converging image, focuses the light rays coming from the sun. Okay, it makes all the light waves to fall at a single point from the sun at a single point, due to which paper starts burning while trying to obtain the image of the sun on the paper with the help of concave mirror. Our next question is, if a spherical mirror breaks, what type of mirrors are the individual species? Okay, so if a spherical mirror falls on a ground and it breaks into pieces, so will they become some another type of mirror, or will they be converted into plane mirrors? Okay, so nothing happens like this. Whatever it has its original characteristic, as it is a spherical mirror itself, after breaking it will remain spherical mirror only. If a spherical mirror breaks, the individual pieces will be spherical mirror itself. They will not change. This is the question when which is faced by everyone. Samir visited Nehru Science Center, Worli, Mumbai. There he saw mirrors which gave distorted images of his face. All his friends started laughing on seeing the image. Explain why his face got distorted. You can see a boy standing in front of the mirror, and you can see the images which are formed in those mirrors. As well as you can observe that these mirrors are not plain mirrors, the surfaces are slightly curved. Okay, so the normal plane mirrors reflect perfect images, whereas the curved mirrors reflect distorted images. Okay, curved mirrors will never give you the perfect image of a person or a object which is standing in front of the mirror. So as Samir was not standing in front of the normal plain mirrors, the mirrors which we use at home, he was standing in front of a curved mirror. Okay, so he was unable to see his perfect image. And what he is able to see, he is able to see all the distorted image of him. Okay, so again I'll read the sentences so that if such type of questions come in the exams, better write it in the form of complete sentences. Normal plane mirrors reflect perfect images, whereas curved mirrors reflect distorted images. Samir's face in the mirror looked distorted because it was a curved mirror. Okay, so we will go towards our next question. Why do convex mirrors are used inside mirrors of vehicles? Okay, concave mirrors are used in solar furnaces, while convex mirrors are used in the side mirrors of the vehicles. So why they are used? the drivers or passengers in the car has probably noticed the tiny wordings. Object in mirror are closer than they appear. Okay, I have mentioned the picture which depicts that these words are written in the rear mirror of a vehicle, that the objects which you are seeing, they appear more closer than they are in fact on the road. Okay, so objects in the mirror are closer than they appear, that runs along the bottom of the passenger side rear view mirror. But the reason is that using a convex mirror this way gives the driver the best range of vision. Okay, he's able to identify how many vehicles are there behind the vehicle, so that he can drive very properly. So here's that's it. We are done with our today's topic, reflection of light.